are back with our last game of the night here for the PGL Arlington Major, day 3 of the group stages. We've got Entity taking on a Beast Coast. Denok, we saw Beast Coast was a incredible game 1 performance from them, but do we feel like they can replicate that in the second game?
Absolutely. Never in doubt. I didn't think that Midas was going to backfire in a big way. Again, it was like it was a cool draft that made me a little bit more leaning towards Beast Coast side, but again, it just comes down to the execution. There were a number of times where they just were not on the same page, and maybe that came down to the fact that the early game was shuffled up a little bit, like they were forced to try and change up these lanes so that you were matching the movement coming through. You wanted the Razor into the melee matchup. It didn't work out. You actually gave away the first blood. I think Toby in particular would want a redo of that if he could, but he's got that second game to be able to come back into this as we do head on into the draft, and I'm expecting to see some very similar bans coming through from Beast Coast, just taking away a lot of that early push potential, and really, it feels like perhaps targeting Toby. Do
you remember what the other ban was?
Batrider.
There we go.
And they're doing it again.
And I like that. I like that a lot. Could it be you could always consider picking up for yourselves, but Beast Coast, of course, do have the first pick to be playing with. So let's see what they're looking to consider to play for the side of Radiant. Tiny is still in the pool if they want to snag that one up. Clockwork as well, of course, we've seen first phase multiple times from them, even if they want to value the snap fire because they have so much flex with it.
You know they're going to Wyvern, basically, on Entity, but Beast Coast could try and disrupt that a little bit. Ooh,
jeez.
Is this our first Dawnbreaker? I think it is.
I think it is too. I've got no idea why it's getting first phased a couple times, like banned, but yeah, I'm quite surprised we haven't casted any Dawnbreaker games.
Now, this is mostly a Chris Luck Dawnbreaker that he likes to go, although you occasionally see Gojira go down that route, but I'm a little surprised that they've gone into it, considering the fact that there's this Winter Wyvern there, with the Winter's Curse there to set up. You know how comfortable Katami is playing the hero, so a little bit surprising to me.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I was feeling the same when they first picked their Chen, and I'm like, you're picking it, and they're going to just answer with the Wyvern, but
it wasn't really on Katami that game, I don't think.
Yeah. Back into the puck they go, so there is the potential to be able to counter it in regards to Chris Luck's hero early if they want to, but of course it will reveal the flex of the Dawnbreaker though.
I mean, it could still just be a Dawn mid, right? Lots of physical damage, you could crush the puck, and then there's the other factor of you just get an early Aghanim shard and then you just get rid of the Dream Coil. You don't even need to wait for a BKB on the Dawn. You could just go like Blink Dagger, Aghanim shard, and then suddenly you're in onto the backlines and there's not too much that Entity can do about it. I want a little bit more of that backline dive, though, from Beast Coast. Like, this would be a pretty decent Earth Spirit game, for example, but I don't know if you want to reveal the fact that it's a mid Dawnbreaker just yet, so maybe they're going to go down a different route.
Yeah, they haven't showed the capability to play the Dawnbreaker as a 3, and I like this pick a lot. I wasn't sure if they were going to Night Stalker at the 8th, but it's incredible versus the opener from Entity, and we are starting to really see the rise of this hero with a lot of the backline supports. So, yeah, I really like the pick from Beast Coast, and they have shown now that they can flex it into the position 1.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that even though Night Stalker's pretty good against the Lycan just because of being able to get the Aghanim shard, it's something that they don't want to have to worry about. They don't want to have to deal with this split push. It's just annoying. So they just want to try and play a head-to-head style of Dota, and they feel like they've got the execution to outplay Entity.
Beast Coast's turn to ban.
So we're going to be looking towards Fishman's hero at the 15th pick. Are we expecting them to go back into the Clockwork because it is something they are very comfortable with, or are we wanting them to go down a bit of a different route?
I think they don't even necessarily need to pick the Fishman hero here. I think they could get away with Bloodseekering right now, and it's going to be a good enough lane. It's good against both the Dawn and the Night Stalker as long as you just land the Rupture onto it. I think it gives them a lot of flexibility. it might reveal the fact if they do get rid of some of, I was about to say the counters to it, but I guess just people that are able to trade farm, which kind of does feel like the counter in someone like the Keeper of the Light. Of course, some of it is also just giving respect over to Whisper.
I'd really like that as well. I like the call with the synergy that comes out from the Vibe and the Puck as well. The curse to be able to set up, so we do see Beast Coast though continuing to respect Toby's hero. Have yet to trying to remember if we've actually seen Entity play the Enigma so far. We've had a couple games, but again, all the days are kind of blending together. So it is something they're very comfortable on. It was Toby's most played hero into a 3, so they won't have that one in the arsenal, nor will they again have Saberlight's Bristleback to fall back on.
Makes sense, right? You got these heroes that want to run at you, so just say, all right, guys, clump up around me. They don't have great AoE, so they're just going to start taking damage. So I like it. I like the ban coming through. It's the same sort of mentality with the Razor, right? Which, by the way, it's still in the pool. So I think you could still certainly look to get away with this. It just takes... it changes where you want to fight. You know, you don't want to fight it along these side lanes where there's plenty of tree lines to play around. You want those big open spaces like next to the outpost where, you know, you can actually have the rest of your team come up next to you.
I'm all down for this Bloodseeker 15th, honestly. I'm kind of surprised they didn't get rid of it, because regardless if the Night Stalker's a 3 or a 1, he's going to counter him, so...
Even the Dawn.
Yeah, very, very good point. That's a hero that wants to be mobile throughout the fights. There is a little bit of flex. We don't see offlane Bloodseeker anymore, but theoretically, I suppose you...
Amar tried it against Fnatic, didn't work out.
Okay, there you go.
Beast Coast's turn to pick.
What do we got? It is... Alright, so...
It's fine, you know. It's not that high damage, though. This is literally the exact same opening that they had from the last game, and it didn't feel like they came out of that laning phase in a solid spot. So something that I'm a little more hesitant about, I suppose, for them to go into it again. Especially considering, I mean, let me have a quick look, actually. I want to see more damage paired together with this Puck. They just don't have it. That's my main concern. So... I mean, even Bloodseeker is one of those heroes that needs, like, 2 items before he can do something. He needs the... I mean, again, it's almost identical. Literally, the only difference is that Dawnbreaker. So Beast Coast are like, we beat you with it once, try and do it again.
Go conquer, man.
Yeah. Why not? Sets up really well.
I guess the only issue with they go conquer is that it does reveal the flex, but I feel like you just said, like, the Dawnbreaker is going to be very similar to... You said Dawnbreaker very similar to Shen, or am I just hearing things? Well, the way I'm looking at it is that Beast Coast is just going to play off the back of the sustain again. The Solar Guardian, you got the Night Stalker who's incredibly tanky. If you go Conquer once again, which has a very good matchup versus the Puck, and we saw C-Smile have an incredible game in game 1. So my only concern, if they want to go back down that route, is it shows where the Dawnbreaker is going early on. So they're going to have to reveal something eventually.
Yeah, I think you can get away with it. Like, it's not the greatest position for Dawnbreaker game. I honestly feel a lot more confident with it being the core, because if it's the position 2, you want to be at the start of a lot of these team fights. You don't give that setup for the Winter's Curse after the Solar Guardian. You kind of want to be the one going in first alongside the Night Stalker. And now with the Death Prophet as well, you got 3 heroes that are wanting to run in, assuming that these are the 3 cores. The Blightseeker is still pretty damn good here, though, man. Yeah. Like, 3 heroes running at you? I know what I'd want to be playing.
I think Entity might even... You could consider a Doom here as well, because DP is very spellcasting reliant. If you're able to get that ultimate off before the Death Prophet is able to kind of respond with her own ultimate or Spirit Siphon. Again, you've got heroes to really play. So I think this route taking go down. And yeah, again, we were calling the Bloodseeker, so I'm more than happy with this as well. But it's going to take a bit to come online. You mentioned 2 items, that Maelstrom BKB, and that is a pretty slow spike. Like, you're going to lose maybe your safe lane tower, and you could lose mid as well if Beast Coast are solid with their early rotations.
Depends how well the laning stage goes as well. Like, where is this Bloodseeker going? Is this another a game where Kataomi needs to be playing alongside him as well? Because Clockwork, you're just feeding damage into the Death Prophet, assuming it is going to be a position 3, right? Spirit Siphon onto a Strength hero, you're very happy with that. So I feel like Entity, with their position 3, again, it needs to be high damage. And honestly, outside of Razor's still in the pool, it is a good amount of damage, but you just need to be playing a lot more around the team. I don't think we saw that rotation coming through with the Dream Coal, pairing it together with the Razor, Plasma Field, Eye of the Storm in that early game, and that's really what you need to have happen.
5 seconds remaining.
So they are looking towards it being a Stinger hero at the last. Is this something you're expecting as well for Beast Coast to pick up the 23rd at position 5?
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's a Night Stalker 1, Dawn 2, Death Prophet 3, Nyx 4, and then, yeah, Stinger's hero to finish up with. So we're assuming it's probably going to be a position 5. What is going to be good in that regard?
A little bit of heal, I think.
Something that heals, maybe. I mean, he's made Elder Titan work. It's not terrible Elder Titan game. You've got good amounts of setup for with slows, with stuns. It just feels like pretty beastly. But against the Clockworkers, it's not that great. What else could you go? Not really a great Shadow Demon game. Could this be the Grimstroke game? Wouldn't hate it. I'd just be an Ench as well, unless that's banned. I mean, Ench is totally fine, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you do have to be worried about maybe the hookshot. So a hero that's potentially able to build 4-staff or has some way to be able to get out, which it's a bit difficult for the 5s. Like I was thinking Oracle at first because Oracle Death Prophet's incredibly strong. But maybe you'd consider that more if you're like a Liquid team, for example. So I was going down like the Warlock route for a little bit extra team fight, which could be really nice. And your sustain in general, they've got a lot of AoE damage with Fatal Bonds as well. But then again, you could also have difficulties with the Clockwork and Puck getting on top of you. So I think whatever 5 they go, it's definitely not going to be the easiest game, but maybe that's where the Night Stalker and DP can come into play because they are heroes that like to be on the front. Good Ench call.
Yeah, they do ban the Ench. Nice. I think for Entity, the Wyvern and the Puck have both been answered with this draft. Yep. So Bloodseeker is basically the only hero that's going to have a good impact. So that's where they need to look at rounding out the draft. What's going to give these guys a little bit of an easier time? And it's going to be, in my opinion, heroes that deal with the Nyx and the Night Stalker. So what does that? Maybe... I'm honestly at a bit of a loss, to be honest.
If you just said you're pretty much the Bloodseeker is the one they look to answer, are you trying to deal in regards to a hero that has like a BKB piece in control?
Could be nice. Even just... Could it be a Bane? I wouldn't hate a Bane this game. Oh, Viper instead.
Oh, the classic South American Viper where you've got absolutely no idea where it's going.
Probably 5, but
yeah,
yeah, but... It still feels pretty good, right? Just being able to bully whatever. Like, surely they're just Razor into this, right? It's a lot of physical damage.
Is that a fun lane, though?
I mean, the Razor's going into the Night Stalker, isn't it?
Oh, boy.
Okay. Is this a...
That is an incredible... apart from going against a Nyx Assassin, that is an incredible Phoenix pick.
Sure, but who makes the plays and does damage early?
Okay, Sunray does a lot of damage.
You need levels.
Sure. You're gonna get.
It is Toby playing it.
Yeah, I love this pick. I also love that Beast Coast pick up the Whisper Viper. I think they had to go for the Viper as a core now because he needs Dragonlance and actually like damage items and like core items to be able to have attack speed to kill the egg because they have no one else that does. When you pop Supernova, it turns to daytime. That just really takes away a lot of effectiveness from the Night Stalker. Death Prophet doesn't have a lot of attack speed as well, so this is a incredible pick. I think Entity have a big advantage in regard to their team fight. The only issue is that they are cooldown reliant, so we could just see Beast Coast once again just run over the early game.
I think it's cooldown and damage, to be honest, right? Like, I get what you're saying with regards to the supernova, and, you know, Whisper's going to need to be able to be the one dealing with it. But Dark Ascension, even though it's going to be daytime, you're going to have that free pathing. You're going to be able to get in onto the backlines with, let's say, K1 goes a hand of Midas again. That gives you decent enough attack speed. Maybe this game he goes into an AC instead, just to be able to assist a little bit with that high ground siege and a little bit more damage against... to survive like a Bloodseeker hitting you, or for the extra attack speed needed for the egg. But I appreciate the Phoenix pick. I understand why you think it might be good. I'm really feeling like the first 20 minutes could be so Beast Coast favored that it's not going to matter.
I'm also in agreement with that. That is my big issue with Entity's lineup, that I do not think they have answers to the early game from Beast Coast. And we saw prior Beast Coast, I doubted their capability to play a lineup like this, because it's something I haven't particularly seen from them. And they pulled it off in game 1. And so should I be doubting them in game 2? Because it's very similar. Entity, I don't think they have the answers to Beast Coast in the early game. So they pulled it off last game. If we're going off by that, they should be able to pull it off again. I really don't think anything changes here with a Bloodseeker and Phoenix that is different from game 1. So, look, I'm just going to go Entity because I like this Phoenix. But again, everything you said, I'm 100% in agreement with. I don't know if it's going to get to the stage where really the team fight is a concern and where they have the damage. You need 20 plus minutes, like you said. So, we'll see if they can get there.
The Bloodseeker's better, in my opinion, than what they had last game. Although the Alk wasn't necessarily the weak point. It's really just going to be, again, on the back of Toby. They're putting a lot of faith into him here after a bit of a lackluster performance in the previous game. They're looking to try and get that early kill onto Stinger. Just first blood would be a nice way to start things off. Body blocks.
Oh, no.
30 seconds to
Balanced Sun Lady.
What are you saying, dude? What's wrong with her? We haven't seen the Dawnbreaker. Obviously, that means she's doesn't need a nerf.
Stinger already going out there. I mean, you know that they have vision, brother. You got to just stay underneath the tower, get a lot of that regen. Extra 3 from the tier 2s.
Look at
So
that.
he does try and contest it a little bit.
the battle begins.
Give the solo experience over to C Smile. So and they're gonna lose both. What's dude?
He didn't claim the bounty route first. Oh, did Stinger get it?
Yeah, they were baiting Stinger. They wanted him to get the bounty so they could potentially get first blood, but a Void's gonna slow down Fishman, so Stinger's probably gonna make a trip. I was gonna say back to base. He's toying with Fishman.
He's got wand. It's fine.
So, Entity lost both their wards they started the game with, and it was a 3-for-1 in regards to the bounty as well. C-Smile also got all the experience mid from the observer, so he's going to have a little bit faster of a level 2 timing.
Fishman being blocked from getting into the lane by Gojira. Up on that top side of the map. Not sure if this is all that easy for Toby as well. I mean, Viper's someone that's always available to do damage and harass, right? No cooldown at all on the poison attack, and Toby, he's just used his last of the fiery spirits, and he doesn't have another use for another 30 seconds, so he basically needs to back off entirely out of this lane, and in the meantime, you got Fishman just zoning out Gojira, so I really don't expect Phoenix to get anything at all out of this. They're even bringing up Stinger to try and, I was about to say convert this into a kill. I'm not sure if you'll be able to dive the tower, but seems like that's the idea.
Oh, just got 2. Should tick out. Oh, he's not going to.
Nice. He had the tango going. That's what I love. That's what I want to see people doing a whole lot more. As soon as you see the aggression coming in onto you, pop the tango and then run.
She
Still,
instantly.
though, not going to get him a lot of farm.
They're hunting Toby. Oh no. They're going to block off the path. And they will not see him in this little nook, but you probably just drag the creeps and continue the dive with the next wave that connects.
Courier has been killed.
Comes back into this lane. How many last hits does he have? 1. 1 versus the 7 and 3 denies that Whisper's got right now. And this is the other thing with the Viper as well, right? It's an orb attack. So you could just left-click it and then click on the Phoenix, and then the tower's not going to hit you. So you can get a lot of harass going out that way.
Take a look at some of the other lanes real quick before the action continues up top. See Smile 11-2 compared to the 7-2 on Stormstormer. So he's off to a pretty good time versus the Park.
Saberlight laning up against his respective carry as well, doing pretty well as you would expect. Topping the net worth right now. Not too many counters to that Bloodseeker. Has to be a little bit careful though as Gojira starts to make his move down towards the bottom side, and Kataomi, in the meantime, has been able to make a pull happen.
K1 gonna be in a bit of trouble here. He's able to sidestep out of the Blood Riot. Nice little bit of damage putting onto the Night Stalker. Do you feel like Beast Coast are happy with that? A couple minutes of trialing they had up top. Did they get enough done?
No, they wanted the first blood. Absolutely. I mean, they made that big rotation through. Toby was able to hit up to that level 2.
They're gonna get
the
first
Empress
blood down
dive and
bottom.
get away.
Oh, Saberlight gets the Blood Riot. I think there was the last little second of slow from Katomi that was able to help out there to keep him inside the AoE silence.
Yeah, Carapace was only about a second or two away from being usable as well by Gojira. So that's a big deal, being able to secure that first blood onto the Winter Wyvern. Again, we know that Kataomi with his build likes to go into that, I don't want to call it greedy or aggressive style, but he needs that Blink Dagger to have the true impact.
Night Stalker's getting worked on down bottom. Saberlight's gonna go for the dive. On more right click. Yo. Good.
That tower armor preventing him from dying once again. And that's the other benefit. Saberlight knows exactly where it is because of the thirst. So he's just going to feel completely comfortable. Also enables Kataomi to make this rotation through. He'll steal away the bounty rune. Won't be able to be there to block up the water rune from going away, but that's fine. It's a 1-for-1 trade.
Those look like top lane Fishman. Little bit of damage into Stinger once Whisper was trying to deal with the creeps. They might actually turn it back around on the Clockwork. 2 points
Wait for the battery
in
assault.
the poison attack. It's going to be plenty of extra damage. Of course, the Viper gets a big spike every odd level in the lane.
Even just trying to
It might
force
dive
Toby into
Toby,
using
yeah.
that Icarus dive. Yep. It's a long cooldown, and that's, again, a long time where you just cannot come back into this lane. He's sitting below Kataomi on net worth right now.
Maybe, I don't know what you're going to look to do then. Maybe if Puck has a decent time, can look to rotate with some of the power runes. And give the lane over to the Phoenix, but a support kind of wants that lane as well. K1 gonna consider about going onto the tower. So yeah, they're going to need to somehow bring this Toby Phoenix into the game.
A little bit aggressive here. Without many usages of spells, so that means the magic stick doesn't have too much built up into it. You might be able to secure the return kill here on Whisper, but I feel like you wanted a much more of a freebie coming through. Actually pops the Tango, but it's a little bit too late. Didn't have that running the entire time, so not only dying, but wasting a little bit more of that lane regen.
You are going to be pretty happy though for Entity. You get the kill onto Phoenix, a little bit of gold given over. Like you mentioned though, he's still struggling in net worth, so anything you can funnel to him, he'll take. Bottom lane though, Saberlight. 3 heroes down bottom. Death means that Stinger.
Tactical death from Stinger.
Yep. Love to see it. Oh. G-Small's going to pop an Exo to try and chase down Kataomi, but he's going to go up to the north instead of repositioning towards the mid lane. So C-Small was anticipating to run down the stairs. Fishman, that's a lot of damage from Exo, brother. At least they're able to pump out as well with the follow-up from Stormstormer and Saberlight. So it's a worthwhile sacrifice from the Clockwork.
Great bait, mate. That's all he's saying right now.
What's he rated?
8 out of 8.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, my lord. Oh, the dynamic
I don't know the
duo.
memes.
Well, but you said it literally. Oh, I don't think it could have been cleaner. Gojira should be able to get another kill as well. Entity, a much better start we're seeing from them in the second game. Saberlight though, getting worked on a little bit down bottom. Dude, Katomi's level 5.
Having a very good start. Also on that top side, now that Toby's up to level 5, it does feel a little bit better for him, right? The cooldown, much less of a factor for the Phoenix. 20 seconds, it's still a lot when you compare it to what Whisper's able to dish out onto you, but certainly, like, you can already see, right? just down to 10 seconds. He's going to have that Fiery Spirits up and usable again very shortly. And I wonder when he's actually going to look to go into the Supernova. If it's something that they want to take advantage of immediately. Maybe it is. Dream Coil's coming up in 3 seconds.
They need to kill the creep. There we go. They got rid of the creep. They have the Supernova to play with, along with the rotation out from Storm Summer. This is a beautiful play from Entity, rotating at the perfect timing. As soon as Toby gets that level 6 and bottom lane as well, K1, he's getting chased down. Another ultimate coming at the ready of Entity at the perfect timing, secures some kills across the board.
Much better coming through. This is the synergy that I was wanting to see in game number 1. They immediately make use out of their abilities before they're even able to react on Beast Coast's side. Great TP coming in just as the Dream Coil's coming off cooldown. Like you said, getting that last hit on the creep, bringing Phoenix up to level 6. Immediately he's level 7. Even lower cooldown now on the Fiery Spirits.
Now, do we want to see Beast Coast look to make a play with this next Exo, knowing that a couple of the ultimates are on cooldown?
Potentially. I mean, you've got the Arcane Rune as well, right? So that just it gives you even more impetus to want to make this happen. Also a little bit more nighttime, so K1's just going to park himself up here. Toby needs to be a little bit careful, but he should be able to get away quickly enough. Silence not leveled up just yet, but does he even... Okay, he does end up popping the Exo.
Not again. This time you don't have heroes playing behind to be able to capitalize on you making a window to kill off the Death Prophet. So a freebie for C-Smile and also the tower going down.
There's a fine line between space creation and just straight up feeding, and unfortunately I think that was the latter. Giving up your life to try and maybe defend the tower, just didn't have the tools or the skill set. Not the skill set, that's a bit flamey. The tools to be able to.
Whisper bottom lane. Oh, alright. Are you more on the latter side as well? Just the feeding instead of the space making?
I think, me personally in my games?
Yeah.
Depends what hero I'm playing. Wyvern, never. But,
what about Katome
CM,
right now?
I am a creep.
Space making or a little bit of feeding?
Curse? Look at that. Stinger, even walking away from the neutral camp.
They got Viper TPing in. Oh, Fishman's like, alright, well, as long as everyone else can make it out, they're actually wanting to go back in. Toby's nearby if they require the ultimate for that extra little bit of damage onto Whisper, but Saberlight is speedy enough to close the distance with ease, and now they're going to dive on forward to Gojira, because they got the puck nearby as well to pump in the damage as Toby gets the double kill, some much needed gold given over to the offlaner of Entity, and they got the Rupture back up, so the Dark Ascension, it's going to be used here for K1, but that's a big ultimate. 150 seconds just used to TP out.
He just wants to make sure he continues to scale. Once again, going this Midas build, feeling like he's going to be able to outscale with all of those levels, but it's very different now. You haven't dominated the laning stage. You've gotten out of it in a decent enough spot. The Puck having a much better game versus what was happening with the Kunkka and Saberlight. He's approaching that first of 2 items that we would keep talking about. Maelstrom going to accelerate his farm, and then it's going to be straight into the BKB after that.
Oh, Gojira just picked up his ultimate.
And he's got the Midas queued.
Yep, I saw it, yeah. I was just about to ask you, Midas again from Mr. Gojira. Alright. They got another sentry. Fishman does. He's going to pop it down. Recognize this instantly.
Run away.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Back towards the other sentry as well. Gojira? What's just here, my friend? Someone's going to be in some trouble. He's forced to use the call defensively. Gojira's still nearby as well to intercept the retreat. A beautiful stun onto 2, but the curse will taunt multiple heroes together, and Toby's going to position in the middle just so he get a really good ultimate off if it's required. Stinger brought down with ease, and now they're going to turn to Whisper afterwards as well, as Saberlight's going to rock up to the party, and the poor old Viper will not have any way to be able to escape, as even Gojira's got to go down as well. As Denok, we were concerned about the early game from Entity, but they are proving us wrong.
They're on the same page. That's the big difference here. And honestly, it's on the back of Saberlight. He came out of that laning stage even better than I expected a Bloodseeker to. And it's also on the back of some of these movements coming out from Stormstormer. He's really picked things up as long as he doesn't have that hard counter in the mid lane to have to go up against. Proving why he was one of the top-ranked individual players for such a long time before being picked up by a pro team. And now it just feels like it's a little bit more about giving Katalmi that farm. You've got the Witchblade coming up soon for Stormstormer. Going to give him the potential to go for some of these pickoffs, and already about halfway towards that Blink Dagger on your Winter Wyvern. Not sure how great I feel about this smoke, though. Yeah, you've got the double damage.
Toby
You've got a
bottom
Clockwork
lane's in a
with
lot
pressure
of trouble. A bit too greedy positioning out of the Phoenix. Meanwhile, across the map, Entity, they are smoking. A hookshot from Fishman, along with the double damage from Stormstormer, is all they would require to help kill off C Smile. So a couple of cores going down across the map.
Look at Saberlight. He's booking it towards that Ancient stack. He wants to make sure that he's able to take it really quickly. The Maelstrom just on the courier behind him, about to be finished up.
Stinger?
Pure damage from the Blood Right's not going to be able to do too much, but I feel like well worth using the Rupture onto the position 5.
Oh no.
This is good by Entity, just stealing away all of this farm that you were needing to not necessarily catch up, but still have a good time and accelerate that pace that you were going for. I mean, you've gone for a Viper position 3. It's all about winning the early game. You've gone for a Dawnbreaker draft. Again, lane dominator.
Yeah, this is really scary enough, Entity. Let's go, Jira. Once again, it's Entity running towards Beast Coast in the jungle. Should be another kill picked up. Rocket Flare from Fishman with a finishing blow. And meanwhile, Saberlight, his mind's onto the objectives. This tier 1 tower is going to be able to open up the map, but I think more importantly, just make the map a little bit safer so Entity can work towards that second item timing that we were really speaking about for them.
Even just having a simple Ogre Axe or Mithril Hammer impacts your team fight by so much. Like, it's not like you're worried about stuns to any big extent as the Bloodseeker, right?
What's going on? We got a Midas on Whisper now. So, okay. So, we're obviously seeing something develop in the major in regards to the meta. From what I was seeing before the major, I wasn't seeing a lot of Juggernauts go down this Midas route, and now it's really over like 50% of games I'm seeing. So hold that thought. Fishman, another easy pick-off. Just playing around their wards is perfect from Entity, making sure there is no opportunity for Beast Coast to get inside their jungle and look to get control back. And again, they're even considering about diving Whisper under the tower. They've got the wraparound as Fishman's considering it, so Whisper, a bit cautious here.
See, to me, the Juggernaut one does make sense, though, right? Omni Slash uses the attack speed. You want to hit those key timings with the talents to make the magic damage build work a little bit stronger. Have that bit of an earlier timing. Nyx Assassin, not so much. Like, the levels don't do a ton for you. I do understand the Viper, and I even understand the Night Stalker this game, because like we were saying, they will have Phoenix Supernova issues eventually. So that is a little bit of the attitude towards it. But yeah, just Nyx not so confident.
Yeah, I'll hold that. Continuation of the topic is K1. Oh, no way. Smoke's gonna pop, but he just evades. They have the ward at the triangle, so they'll see him eventually. Let's see if they can continue to move back towards the triangle. They're gonna need the coil, which they will have at the ready. Fishman's gonna start with the hook shot as well. How can they react on the side of Beast Coast? And it looks like with all the ultimates committed, they're going to be in trouble at keeping him alive. A Solar Guardian gets the health, and that actually might be enough. Oh, the dive from Toby, along with the Spirit Vessel, secures the kill, and now they'll turn to Stinger as well. A tier 2 tower will not stop the onslaught.
Nicely done, nicely done. At least at the same time, you've got Whisper pushing out this bottom side of the map, making sure to potentially bring some attention down here. Siege Creep hitting into it as well, so that'll open up the map a little bit for them. It's just a question of, will it be able to do enough?
Fishman's even on the high ground as well. Scouts out Smile. They're actually going to look to stand their ground though. Beast Coast, C-Smile popping the Exo with the stun on the backline as well from Gojira. Entity need to scramble, but meanwhile Saberlight, he wants to run directly into the middle. He's not playing around with the BKB for the moment, so Saberlight's got to be cautious. But Katomi jumps in, finds the curse onto 2. The Viper's taken out of the equation, and now it's all on C-Smile to pump in the damage. Even K1, he's wanting to show up to the fight as well. But the control is something they're lacking, so they can't keep up with the puck. They'll turn to the Wyvern instead.
Could have been much worse if not for that Winter's Curse, right? You just get an extra couple of kills. It costs you, of course, your own life, but I think it is well worth it. And, well, Toby just going a little bit too deep that time around, playing on the aggressive side of the map. Ends up costing him a little bit. Now, I'm just having a look. What's Stinger looking to optimize into? Looks like this might be a...
That's the thing he's hoping not to go into.
Well, you can hope all you want. Looks like probably a Holy Locket that he's going to look to go into, right? Magic Wand already complete. Can just look to disassemble the Arcane Boots once he picks it up.
Again, oh boy, Saberlight finding Gojira. It's going to make it the 9th death. This Midas continuing to be slowed down. And meanwhile, Katomi and Toby, they're going to go for the other flying member of this game. Whisper's going to try and turn it around. You might be forced to use the egg, and that will be the case. Solik, no, Stinger?
Is he going to get stunned?
He will indeed, and Storm is nearby as well. Chloe's going to hold them back, and C-Smile wants nothing to do with this skirmish. They've got the curse as well, but the creeps nearby, they won't even need it. Just night and day difference coming up from Entity in this second game. They're continuing to TP in, but K1, he doesn't have the damage to go through the cold embrace, so he's going to turn to try and deal with the puck, but the curse, Katomi held it to the last second. Saberlight's going to look to enter as well with the blood right. It is just beautiful from the side of Entity.
East Coast are also kind of suffering from what Entity had, whatever was going on with them in game number 1. They are all disjointed. A little bit slow on the use of the Solar Guardian, not linking up together for a lot of these push attempts. I mean, you've got a Death Prophet and a Night Stalker with Dark Ascension available most of the time, and you haven't taken more than one tower. That's a big issue in my mind. It just frees up so much space for Entity to be able to make these aggressive plays, particularly around the puck and Clockwork combo.
It just really feels like Entity, whatever's going on in the comms, they're seeing these Midases and they're just saying, guys, just run at them. Like, what are they doing? They're going, just run at them. And we were saying, like, Entity are going to struggle maybe in the early stages, but if they go Midas to not put pressure on, then we're going to be able to just get our items, and they didn't have to wait for 20 minutes, so it's a little bit confusing here for me.
Yeah, but now what was like a late game ensuring Midas has become a catch-up Midas, so it's okay.
Oh, right.
Midas is okay at all stages of the game.
One thing I want to highlight is just a vision game from Entity so far this game. They were playing around this ward on the cliff is scouting out C-Smile. They see K1 as well, so it's just... And meanwhile, mid lane at the remnants of the tier 1 tower.
2 seconds on Supernova, by the way.
Oh... K1 wants nothing to do with this. He needs one more component for BKB, and C-Smile is also working on BKB, so I think you probably just look to stun up Stormer and sacrifice Whisper's life.
You have to sacrifice Whisper. Yeah. I mean, it's daytime. 44 seconds on the Dark Ascension. He's in no place to want to be fighting right now on the Bloodseeker. Sorry, against the Bloodseeker.
Bye-bye, Whisper. It was good knowing you, friend. I'd be able to punch some damage into Stormer, just annoy the puck. Again, they see K1 under the ward. And Katomi's got the curse as well at the ready to make sure K1 will not escape. So we'll just slow him down. Needs to get out of range. And there we go. It does just that. A curse, though, to stop any attempt at making it all the way back to base. And that will continue to slow down the BKB.
Vision look like right now? Does anyone have a gem already? It kind of feels like Entity do with just how much of the map they've been able to control. But, I mean, I know they've got a lot protecting Hector's farm. Look at the map. Like, their entire jungle was warded. They've just gotten rid of one of them on Katomi now, but do they need to just try and take away some of Entity's vision? It's kind of lacking a little bit. I was thinking maybe a gem as a bit of a desperation purchase. Wait, Gojira, you've got the Midas Gold. While you can, please.
He's doubting now. Do I go the recipe?
Maybe save him for the Blink Dagger instead.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Probably the
Good
better
positioning.
item.
Really good position from Gojira, but it's not going to be far enough to the right side. So Whisper, they will still run into the Viper. Solar Guardian's going to come down. They're going to try and turn to deal with the Winter Wyvern first, but the Claw from Stormstormer leashing two heroes together, and he might be able to turn around. Of course, he still has the Aegis to play with. Onto the puck and even blinks out to the left side. Beautiful use of the spell casting from Stormstormer. And meanwhile, in the mid lane, we see C-Smile go down. Saberlight had to pop the BKB to help secure the kill. He will be able to reposition Fishman, considering about going towards Gojira, but K1 acting as that bodyguard.
He's not in a position to. They just didn't have anything else that was going to be able to catch. So right now, again, it's another use of the Dark Ascension that isn't completely ideal. At least now it's gotten him up to his level 14. So he's going to have that little bit of extra Dark Ascension damage when the next fights break out. But it's really just the race for this BKB on Night Stalker right now. Even just on the Viper as well. Like, how much of the map will you lose before this is truly a factor?
Do we feel like Entity with this Aegis are going to be able to claim some towers with it?
Maybe one more, but I'm not feeling too confident after that. You don't have the Aghanim Shard yet on Toby, and I get that you're going into a lot of physical damage, so the Shiva's Guard is going to do a lot, even negates that Midas to somewhat of an extent. So it is an important one, but even against the Nyx Assassin, right, it's really important to have that Aghanim Shard just so that you can use the Sunray, immediately pop the Supernova, so that even like a Blink Dagger into the Spike Carapace isn't going to kill.
Playing with his food, Gojira's going to reveal the Blink. They'll get the first kill. The rest of Entity is trying to beeline to top. Are they going to be fast enough, though? Should be able to get the Blink away. He's actually going to go in aggressively and look at the backstab Entity. They're ready for the fight. C-Smile's going to try and charge up the Exo, but instead they're going to go towards the jungle in the tree line. Bye-bye, Night Stalker. C-Smile hold into place as well with a Rupture. Oh, this Death Prophet, again, just not getting any breathing room to walk towards that BKB that he ever desires to potentially take these team fights, and they're just playing with their food, guiding the Death Prophet into oblivion. It looks like he'll tick out afterwards to the Witchblade damage.
Yeah, eventually going down with the use of that Spirit Vessel as well. He nearly ended up killing Saberlight, so you can see that there is the avenue for them to be able to make their way into a lot of these engagements. Love the fact that he's gone the Rupture cast range as well. I mean, Saberlight's just getting so much farm, so many levels that you're eventually going to have that level 25, two of them.
Katomi's everywhere, man. God doesn't know how to stop. Stormstorm is even going to fall up as well. Coil in a couple seconds. Beautiful stun. They're going to get the kill. Ooh. Stun a little bit too late from Gojira, but he's able to blink on forward. Okay. Gojira with his blink has been incredible. Oh, he didn't pick the... What? What's going on? We got the gem.
Runaway.
Gojira? Finds a stun. Curse at the ready. They don't have the T1 tower. Toby denies the tower. They won't be able to TP down if required, but it looks like Fishman's just gonna pull them away instead. Like, take
He handed the gem off to his courier as well.
Oh,
he handed the gem off.
Wait, Puck
thinks that it didn't. Puck thinks that he didn't. And he's like, bro, I got this.
Like,
I'm picking it out right now. And there's the well played coming through. Oh, man. Yeah, the courier went right over the Nyx Assassin there.
It's fine.
Would you say that this is one of the highest kills per minute games we've had this entire tournament? It really does feel like it. You know, Entity, they've had to do it. They've had to punish these this Midas. I don't want to say greed coming out of Whisper as well as K1. If they went into the Nyx Assassin, yeah, you could call it greed, but we just saw the immediate value that he got out of that Blink Dagger, right? Being able to get right on in onto the puck. You've also got that Spike Carapace impact too.
Might be able to see Radiant take a fight around this triangle. I have decent vision in the neighborhood as well, but they can park themselves up nearby. So you are starting to get these items. They got double BKBs. No, still need that recipe on Death Prophet.
Dire are scanning.
They know exactly where the wards are right now from Entity's side. So they're playing to the left-hand side of this cliff. Fortunately, no ranged heroes up there as for right now. Back on off. Gojira using the spike carapace. I wonder if that'll even give them the impetus to want to go on forward, but would have been a little bit too deep. And yeah, instantly being pinged out by Stinger saying, stay the hell away.
Stormstormer sees K1. BKB's on cooldown prior as well. They're starting to TP to the tier 2 tower. Will take some time to connect to Stormstormer. They're even moving from mid as well. He's only got Gojira behind him to protect, and Gojira's going to look to enter, but a beautiful phase shift dodge, and they'll even get the leash onto the Nyx Assassin as well, so all set up from Stormstormer working with that power rune.
Yeah, doing his best as well on Katami to make sure that this wave stays pushed out. That's one of the benefits of the Wyvern Shard, of course. Able to just secure a lot of that. You can even just farm some jungle camps as well, right? Some of the times where the lane is pushing, the Splinter Blast radius, once you hit level 15, is big enough that you could just get away. You're a hook shot.
What a beautiful hookshot onto their tier 2 tower. A defensive BKB. They're going to try and turn to bring down the egg. Does Whisper have the right clicks? Oh no! One more right click was all they needed, but unfortunately Whisper doesn't have the attack speed and Entity show up to clean up the fight.
All on team wipe coming through, and well, this is looking pretty bad. Mid and bottom lane pretty pushed in. They'll be able to do some decent chunks of damage onto those tier 2 towers. And yeah, you can just hear Katami keeping the lane pushed in, doing the damage himself. Always likes to play that aggressive style, although Saberlight doesn't have the BKB available. Not really in a position to run at them just yet, though, on K1 with that Rupture coming back off cooldown.
Been really impressed with Stormstormer and how he's been performing on the park. Of course, had a pretty difficult game 1, but 10-1 and 22 in this second game. He's really just been inside the Beast Coast jungle and looking to take away a lot of the farm that Beast Coast can play with, and that gives more of the defensive farm for some of the supports on Entity and even Phoenix as well at the early stage. So really impressed from Park.
Still ready to go right now, Katami. He's got the Blink Dagger available and uses it to get away, being able to pop that smoke that was on Stinger previously. I'm a little surprised that K1's still playing around this, considering he's so close to hitting level 18.
Fishman, in and out he goes. A quick and easy assassination of the Dawnbreaker, and now K1 Rupture completely stops the Night Stalker in his tracks, and they're going to make sure they don't group up, because the curse for Katobi, meanwhile on the right side though, K1's doing a decent amount of damage, but the Sunray along with the Cold Embrace just negates all of the damage, all of the work that we're doing to bring down the puck. They'll kill off Fishman. See, Smiles even charging on forward deep under the tier 1 tower. They need to respect Entity. Even though they're low on the resources, they are so far ahead that they can turn this one back around even after the start of the fight. As they get rid of Toby. Meanwhile, the River as well. Whisper's going to find another one to add to the tally. Meanwhile, see Smile. So they've got about a quarter duration left to work with in regards to the EXO. They will push back Entity.
You can tell Gojira wants more. He blinked forward to try and get that kill onto Katami, but yeah, no exorcism means that you're never going to be in a position to be able to secure it for yourselves. Still, though, I'd say that's a fairly good fight coming through. 2 support buybacks coming through from Beast Coast, but it enables you to secure some valuable kills, as well as that kill streak that the Phoenix had previously being given over to C-Smile.
A dieback on the Clockwork, a dieback on the Dawnbreaker as well, so yeah, C-Smile gets 1,200 gold after that fight. He's up to 2,500 now. What do we feel like he's going to look to spend the gold on for his next item? I'll hold that thought though, because top lane K1 again. Dude, he chucks Rupture out, and a third of his health is just gone. Like, this goddamn Rupture, man. It's a big reason why we're even seeing the Bloodseeker ban in like second phase, even into some heroes where, like, yes, the counters you're worried about, you want to get rid of the Bloodseeker, but even some other matchups where you wouldn't expect it, just people are really starting to respect this hero.
It doesn't really feel like it has that many counters, you know? Like, maybe a Viper in the lane is the only one, and they were able to dodge that one out with how they set themselves up.
We'll go Giro.
Also got level 25 on the puck, so good luck catching out this and using your BKBs to full effectiveness. They know that this full-length Roshan is finally respawned, and when you know it, Saberlight's going to start to scale even more. Free Aghanim Shard on the menu for him. There's no way that they can look to contest it. It really does feel like it's on the back of Gojira and his Nyx Assassin. He's going into a Dagon. They just want to try and kill anything at this stage.
Yeah. They
Look, if he gets 2 mana burns off in a fight, which is definitely a possibility with a 5-second cooldown, he's also got that 15 talent as well. It's a crap load of damage on the puck. It's at least a third of his health just gone right there. So
You got the Aeon disc ready though on puck, so it's like, well, should really put that recipe in the backpack and use one of the stat giving items though, but it's just nitpicking.
I wonder how easy their siege is honestly going to be at the high ground with like Nether Toxin laid down, the spam from Quit Swarm, Celestial Hammer as well.
Oh, do we find it? Nobody?
No, he's just running. I must have seen Fishman, which I imagine was the case, and saw the clock where he's like, oh crap, someone else is going to be behind more than likely. So, well, that is your 117-second cooldown ultimate.
Mm-hmm. You know what the high ground siege is going to be resolved by?
I'm looking to see what item we have coming out.
Good old Winter Wyvern Aghanim Scepter. That's what.
They're playing Stormstormer. Why not drop the coil onto one? The Nyx Assassin, a quick and easy kill. Dominating streak. It's had an incredible game. 12-1 and 27 on the puck. And this T2 tower should fall next as well. Toby's almost got a refresher to play with. He also has that level 20, so extra max health damage coming out from the Sunray.
Loving it. But yeah, I mean, you've got the clockwork, right? All you need is vision up onto that high ground once Wyvern has Ags, even if you need to get to that stage.
Oh, Jesus, Fishman! They don't give a damn about this high ground. A supernova even laid down as well, but it's not in the greatest position with no one to protect it as well. The rocket...
Probably. Oh. He got chain bash.
Probably the wrong word. It doesn't even come out. Saberlight, well, the bashes, like you mentioned, protects the egg. I thought they weren't going to be there fast enough, and while Saberlight can zoom into the middle to keep him steady.
That is so unfortunate, man. That would have been an enormous kill if they were able to get that onto the Phoenix Egg. Then suddenly, all of these strength heroes feel so much more confident in being able to go in and take the fight, but instead, buyback being used, another core on the deck, your base being sieged.
Oh. Little Toby. Toby should die to the Viper Strike. Alright.
Little King.
Who's deep into the backline as well? It's going to be K1. He's got the Dark Ascension. Oh, the right clicks as well. Gets rid of Fishman. 2 heroes without a buyback. Don't think they'll get anything out of it. Yeah, no, that's a great question. What did just happen?
I swear he used the Void onto the clockwork and his TP was still going, right?
Yeah, it was daytime. It only mini stuns at night.
Okay.
Analyst, kick W.
You know, sometimes I don't notice the difference between day. I'm on Australia time casting some American tournament, bro.
Yeah, excuses. It's okay. Oh, you're gonna try and use your colorblind somehow.
I would never fall back on that crutch.
I've never. Storm, who's he run into? A measly Dawnbreaker. No way. He's got a shit tick out of the Witchblade. I was gonna say. No chance. Storm, when do you consider the Revenant's Brooch? Brooch?
Broach.
Brooch? Okay.
I say broach.
Yeah, when are we considering that? If you're 14-1 and 28, why not have a little bit of fun?
Do they have any Ghost Scepters where you need to do it? Do they have any Agi heroes building a ton of Agi?
Dude,
Not
he's 14-1 and 28. He's a little bit slot dependent, surely. Surely, not now.
Yeah,
surely.
but you end up doing 0 damage into BKBs, though. That's the issue.
Screw you. Haha. He queues it up. Oh. Good call. I'll pat myself on the back for that. Thank you.
When they lose the next fight because he does 0 damage into BKBs, I'm going to turn around and laugh right back. But it's not going to happen. 21k lead right now. Did get the stun in onto good old Bloodseeker, but he's still got 30 seconds left on that Aegis timer.
They got double Lincolns for the Night Stalker and the Death Prophet as well, so they're going to have to keep that into consideration. They are trying to set up on K1 toppers. There we go. Storm is in. Lincoln's going to get popped. Double Rupture, though. Oh, what a beautiful talent this double Rupture is. And Saberlight, he's more than happy to take the duel. And now they're going to turn to the Dawnbreaker as well. Get a little bit of extra gold, extra experience to TP out, and he cancel. There is not.
Okay, never mind, actually. There's the Ghost Scepter. I forgot about the E-Blade that Stormstormer has. So, okay, it actually has value.
Oh, alright. Oh, Fishman. Look at this guy with the he's even toying with getting... No way, Fishman.
Running circles around him.
Running circles, doesn't even get the kill. He's like, alright, Puck can finish the job. I'll give it to my core, like a good support. And I'll look to get the outpost back as well before he dies.
Now, I don't want to gloat, but he is going into the Octarine core instead of that terrible Revenant Approach item.
God. Such a shame.
He's just going to have an Aeon Disc recipe in his backpack because he's like, well, I'm not dying. Who cares?
Do you reckon he'll activate it this game?
Oh, I thought you were about to say, do you think he's going to keep it there available for himself? But, game might end before it gets to that stage.
So, one of the heroes that Entity thrived on throughout 2 or 3, I should say, Stormstormer. 10 puck games, 50% win rate on it, and I mean, we're seeing a big reason why they would always pick him in the first phase. 14, 1, and 30, man. He's been involved of 44 out of the 55 kills that Entity have. It's been a incredible performance from him.
And he's got a nice haste rune for himself if he decides that he wants to go up into... He's done it again. Why hold the recipe there, man? Don't you want an extra 250 health?
Looks better with the recipe. It's a little bit of BM.
Sure. Let's go with that.
This is...
Alright, 5-man smoke.
Great
Gojira's
positioning.
gonna pop it though.
Yeah, really good position from Gojira. They won't even run into the Nyx Assassin. Or will they? Yeah, Stormstormers. There we go. We got the gem onto Katomi. So Nyx is gone. 50 seconds, we've got a buyback. They're on the opposite side of the map though. It does look like Entity have read this.